Oh god, I need to get back into the swing of things. I've totally forgotten how content creation works. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of me, Lord Strider. Today we are going to be talking about campaigns versus pre-builds. Now I'll get into a little bit about what that means shortly, but I just want to kick this off with thanking all of you for the insane support on the last video that I posted quite a while ago now. But the What is D&D Again video, as I expected, did well, it went above and beyond what I expected, honestly. It was the first video that I've ever created to pass 100 views, 103 unique viewers, which is crazy. I really have no words to express how thankful I am, and I only hope that that continues. So thank you everyone so much, and let's get into the topic of today's video. So this is a new series that I'm starting. I really just wanted an excuse to make some short form content again, which doesn't require hours upon hours of editing, and the Let's Talk series, as I have named it at the moment, is going to be an outlet for that, I think. It should be something I could be able to make without putting too much time into it, and also giving some useful information for those DMs or players out there who might benefit from hearing my voice drone on for hours and hours. But campaigns versus pre-builds. When I talk about campaigns versus pre-builds, when I say campaigns, I typically mean the homebrew campaign, which the Dungeon Masters created from scratch and has made the entire world themselves, and the pre-build being something more like an adventure that Wizards of the Coast has produced and sent out into the masses for you to run. I just totally lost my train of thought. For you to run with little individual insight required. You have everything in front of you and you know each step that you're going to take. Now, when I say about this, it's very important to discuss what you're going to do with your players first of all. They should know if they're going into a world of your creation or of what's his creation. And it also highly depends on what you as the DM are looking for in a campaign, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when I go into the actual detail of what each one is and the benefits and negatives of each. But let's start off with pre-builds. So some examples of pre-built adventures would be The Curse of Strahd, The Lost Mine of Phandelver. Each one of those are very different level-wise and also sort of aesthetic-wise, and it's very important that you know what the pre-built adventure that you're looking at really entails and wants from your players. So The Lost Mine of Phandelver is a very good introductory journey for players who are maybe a bit newer, as well as Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which you now see we are playing on the channel, albeit quite intermittently at the moment due to exams and other things like that. Then things like Descent into Avernus and The Curse of Strahd are things for higher level players or people that are more experienced with the game. These adventures are very good for new DMs who are looking to start off without having to put too much work into it, but also get a rewarding adventure in the same sense. It means that you as a DM don't have to put hours and hours of work into something and be unsure whether it's going to be compatible with the game, whether the world that you've created is something your players are going to enjoy, because with a pre-build, that's just the game, that's just the world. They're also very good for you to begin a homebrew campaign. So I think what we've discussed with Callum, our DM for Waterdeep Dragon Heist, is that after we've completed the pre-build, we'll move on to a more homebrew style adventure where Callum is creating the world as we go, rather than having it as a pre-build all the way through. With pre-builds, it's very good for honing in those skills of creating an NPC, running an NPC, and actually thinking about what people want, because it's all specified there in the documents for you, as well as how to run monsters in combat, how to display emotions of people, because everything is laid out for you right there, and you can just take it at a surface level and present that to your players quite simply. They also provide a very good template for how a campaign should run. The sort of arcs that you're going to go through in each step of the campaign is laid out right there in front of you. You don't need to sort of come up with these vast ideas of what you think might be wanted, because the game exactly tells you what to do. I myself have never ran a pre-build adventure, but I have heard that they're very useful for DMs and still fun for players, even though it's not a unique situation for them to be in. But I think this leads on to my own personal experiences now of a homebrew campaign. Now, I've played in one pre-build and one homebrew, and also ran my own homebrew campaign, and I can tell you, when I started out with my own world, I wouldn't even really call it a world. We had one town and a number of NPCs who were named, the majority of them who weren't, and it was sloppy, it was a complete mess, and I'll never live down the fact that I gave a monster an extra HP just so it would get away, because I had no idea what to do if they killed this plot relevant monster in my campaign, and I was completely stressing out. My players go on about that incessantly. But really, that didn't affect the adventure itself. The way I see it, the adventure became moulded around what the players wanted to do. After I gave that extra HP, it led to a small dungeon crawl and the saving of one of the characters' wives. It was great fun. I enjoyed it. I think they enjoyed it as well. And overall, it really enriched the experience that it was something unique. It wasn't something that was being played by thousands of other groups across the world. From there, they picked which plot points they enjoyed and what they wanted to follow, and that's what created the campaign. Obviously, it was quite a bit of work for me trying to plan everything out on the moment, but it really was so rewarding for them to follow the threads that I'd come up with myself, and that they were so interested in that they wanted to play this game purely about what I'd made. Now that I think back on it, I really had no details of the entire world. They fully came with the game that we were playing, and eventually I had this entire nation of complex political systems and various NPCs that the parties had very strong emotions to, their enemies, their friends, their loved ones, their companions, all of which had come off my head. Now, I'm not knocking Prebuilds for having that lack of emotional connection between you and the NPC, but it really is something else to know that you've made something and that they care that much about it. Now, I'm raving about how good this is. It obviously comes with negatives. One, it's a lot of work. Creating a diverse world of a lot of different people and places is hard going, and especially when you get up to the higher levels, the players require more to make the world feel more realistic, because they're coming up against these threats and they need to have allies in the same places as them who they can have to help them, as well as the pantheon, the divine beings in the world are a big part of it. And I think I struggled quite heavily with trying to create those because I hadn't done it to start with. It is a lot of work, and as such it's very time consuming. You find yourself working away for hours and hours instead of doing the schoolwork that's needing to be handed in very soon. But I myself loved every second of it. I don't know whether that's because I'm quite a creative person, but the building of this world all by myself was something that I thoroughly enjoyed and put hours and hours into, just because I found it so fun to create these places and NPCs and monsters that they were eventually going to encounter. It can be quite difficult to handle at times, where the players are going down a certain route and you haven't come up with something to fill that void of the space, which has just got an invisible barrier saying under construction because it's not done yet from the DM. But it lets loose that inner creativity that the DM and the players have to be able to build that world together rather than have it laid out for you to start with. As you can see, there are positives and negatives to both sides, but I find going in with a pre-build will be helpful for new DMs and new players, and then possibly moving into a homebrew campaign is a natural progression there for the DM's skills to grow and the players to investigate the further plot points that you've laid out. But that's not me knocking starting with a homebrew campaign. I've honestly done it myself and it was great. It was stressful, but it was fun and rewarding in its own special way that I don't think Prebuilds can offer. To conclude this very short video essay, I think both of them have merit, but I myself personally, as you would expect, will side with the homebrew campaign on this one. It is something that gives you a feeling that you can get from nowhere else, to know that they care about something you've made like that. And going into our second campaign, the amount that they're trying to shape the world for the next set of players that they're going to be in this world it's insane. It's amazing. That brings the video to a close. Thank you ever so much for watching. I think this might actually be the first video that I've done in daylight, so we'll see how that turns out on the camera. But thank you very much. If you enjoyed, please like, share, send it to your friends, comment if you think I'm wrong or if you think I'm right. Tell me about your campaigns. It'll be brilliant to hear about. And once again, thank you so much for all the support on the last one. Really, it means an immense amount to me. And with that, I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.